Hey there! If you're still using the default Debug.Log everywhere in your Unity project, you're missing a layer. Unity exposes the entire logging pipeline, and once you know how to get to it, you decide what gets logged, how, and where. I'll walk you through the APIs that make this possible, including one that isn't even documented. Buckle up. So, you know how all of your logs in the console look the same and sometimes it's really difficult to notice things? There are plenty of third-party solutions for this issue, free and paid. But I want to show you the basics of how you can implement something simple yourself. I'll start by creating a log handler class. For the sake of simplicity, I'll make this class static. And straight away, I'll create a method that can return a deterministic color based on the class name. It's a lot easier than forcing everyone to provide their own color. Next, the log method itself. It will take the message and a file name from which I will extract the class name. After fetching the color, I can simply log everything with Debug.Log. It supports rich text, so I can pass in the color and make the class name bold. Now, it would be too much of a hassle to make everyone send their file names or even class names. Thankfully, .NET has a nice attribute called color_file_path. This attribute tells the compiler to inject the file name for every color of this method automatically. All that's left for me to do is invoke this method instead of Debug.Log. I'll do it in a couple of places. I'll do it in UI Manager for both logs here, and I'll do it for the update UI command. Now, let's see how it looks. I can jump straight to play mode, and after the game loads, you can already see that update UI command and the UI manager have differently colored tags. But you know what the issue is with this approach? Let's say I want to navigate to the line that logged this in the UI manager. I double-click the log and it takes me to the log handler, to the row that actually invokes the Debug.Log method. Thankfully, the solution is pretty easy. I just need to add the hide in call stack attribute to the log method, and that's it. Now I can enter play mode to trigger the new logs. And once they're in, I'll exit the play mode so I'm not writing code while it's running. If I click on the same log now, it takes me to the relevant line, which is line 14 inside the UI manager. And here's something cool that I discovered by chance during the recording of this video. Apparently, it's not necessary to add the attribute to the method. There's some undocumented Unity magic that can perform the same effect based on the class and method name. If the static class name ends in logger and the method name is log, the result will be the same. I'll jump into play mode, and after the game is loaded, I'll press on the same log again. And sure enough, it takes me back to line 14 of the UI manager. Note that the method must be called log and the class name must end with logger. Otherwise, it won't work. Oh, I love Unity. Do you know what else I love? Seeing the numbers climb. I literally sit and watch them all day. And you can help me by liking this video and subscribing to the channel. But let's assume your codebase is huge and Debug.Log is peppered everywhere and it would be too much work replacing it. Sure, you can use find and replace across all files, but there's a better way. My game here doesn't have a game manager, but every Unity game must have a game manager, right? Otherwise it's a bad game. Don't worry about it, I'll fix it. Now, I want my game manager to be executed before other scripts, so I'll add the default execution order attribute with a value of, let's say, -100. Unity was kind enough to expose a way to override the behavior of their logger, and since this script will run before others, I can safely do it here in Awake. What I can do is override the log handler of the Unity logger. Let's create one. It's a regular class that implements Unity's iLogHandler interface, which has only two methods, logFormat and logException. And the first thing I'll do is capture the existing log handler, the one that can output text to the console, in the constructor, since I want to use it internally. For this video, I won't do anything special with exceptions, and we'll just forward the invocation to the default handler. Same as before, I'll need a method to generate a deterministic color based on the class name. I could have copied it from the other class, but never mind. But here's an issue. Log format is part of the interface. I can't just add a new parameter to it with the color file path attribute, so I need another way of finding the class name. For this, I can use the stock trace class. This class allows me to see all of the stack frames that led to this point. Now, a fair warning. Using stock trace is performance heavy, and I strongly advise against using it in production builds. Use this only in test builds and, even better, create a mechanism to disable it or pass your class names as part of the logs. And now I can finally implement the log format method. I'll fetch the class name, then its color, and use the default log handler to print the message to the console with the appropriate formatting. In Unity, I'll create a new game object for my game manager and will assign the appropriate component to it. Now I can enter play mode, wait for a bit, and just look at that. All of the logs received some colors. Note the logs with two colors. Those are a side effect of me not deleting the custom logger, so they're passing through two colorization pipelines. Still pretty cool. Now, with this approach, we don't have to write the logs to the console. In a real-life scenario, you'd probably want to log to a file or a remote server. But as a champion of stupid things in Unity, I want to do something stupid. I'll create a string to hold only the last log. Then, instead of writing the log into the default handler, I'll just assign it to the last line variable. And I will create a render method. Have you guessed what I'm doing? Hell yeah, I'm printing the last log on the screen with IamGUI. The last touch is to call this method from my game manager during the onGUI callback. And since it's already stupid, I'll allow myself to break the rules of polymorphism and cast the interface to a concrete type here in order to invoke the render method. The result is kind of funny and useless. The console is empty and the last line of the log is actually printed in the game view. You can see that if I do something, the last line of the log is printed on the screen. The last thing I wanted to show you is the ability to disable logs. This can be really useful for production builds. All you have to do is tell the Unity logger to disable the log, and that's it. You don't even have to override the log handler for this. If I enter play mode now, the console will be empty. That's because the handler methods are never invoked. Look, despite all the colored logs, or lack thereof, this video wasn't really about colors. It was about the tools underneath. What you do with them is completely up to you. And let me know in the comments, are you rolling your own logging or just Debug.Log everywhere? Stay tuned for more videos like this. Until then, keep on creating, and I'll see you in the next one.